I grew up in a haunted house, or at least, I should have. My childhood home was in a council estate built on top of graveyard, and for years I heard about how when builders broke ground in the early 1970s, they discovered a scattered collection of human bones. Some people suggested that perhaps the remains were casualties of a plague or epidemic, maybe cholera, the same disease whose rampage further west in Sligo helped to inspire Bram Stoker's Dracula. Others wondered whether the skeletal remnants belonged to victims of the Great Famine that ravaged Ireland in the 1840s, when whole communities starved to death, even as the crops that did bear fruit were exported to the farthest reaches of the British Empire. There were no answers, and even now I'm unable to find any record of the excavation. Today, I rent an apartment in an imposing 19th century building that was, until recently, a psychiatric hospital. Every taxi driver and delivery person asks if it's haunted. Locals tell stories of elderly parents committed by greedy children hoping to get their hands on an early inheritance, of patients who wandered off the grounds and were drowned in the torrents of a nearby weir. Yet, nothing strange or spectral has ever disturbed my sleep in either of these allegedly haunted homes. I am interested in ghosts, but ghosts seemingly have little interest in me. I have slept under many supposedly haunted roofs and never encountered anything more terrifying than the occasional wayward spider lost in a tangle of sheets or darting beneath the dark crevices of a heavy wooden dresser. The absence of ghosts in my life has left me a skeptic, albeit an ambivalent one. I don't believe in ghosts, yet my skepticism is soft and pliable. For me, ghosts are oniric beings, formed out of the ectoplasmic accretions of horror stories, drawn out from beneath the darkest of cinematic shadows and conjured from the deepest crevices of history. The ontological status of the ghost, its reality or lack thereof, means little to me. I am far more interested in what ghosts mean, what they say about the individuals who whisper tales of hauntings, why spirits cleave to certain locations, and why they extend their diaphanous forms through the hallways, attics, and basements of specific structures, and only those structures. I may not believe in ghosts as real, verifiable phenomena, supernatural or otherwise, but I do think specters are endlessly helpful, informative beings. They are the tales we tell when we attempt to articulate the disturbing, unsettling powers exerted by sickly places and those lands rendered leaden by the weight of history. Yet, spirits also tell their own tales. They speak of the fears that gave shape to them and the hopes from which they sprung. I am interested in the cultural work performed by ghosts and, indeed, by other monsters. Why do we continue to summon such creatures into being? Why do we give them such grotesque shapes and imbue them with fundamentally taboo desires? Moreover, why do we sometimes desire them? In an essay titled Monster Culture, 7 Theses, the scholar Jeffrey Jerome Cohen constructs a taxonomy of monstrosity that graphs the function of monsters across distinct cultural contexts. For Cohen, the monster's body is a cultural body. Monsters are imaginative beings cobbled together, Frankenstein-like, from the anxieties, transgressions, taboos, and desires of the society that birthed them. Likewise, our ghosts do not simply haunt us. Rather, we summon them to our sides. We need them to express what we cannot articulate, what we do not know how to say. Considering the etymological root of the word monster, Cohen observes that monstrum is that which reveals, that which warns, a glyph